First and foremost, I'd like to give credit to Coach Stoops and his staff and his program. Very hard-fought win. They're doing an excellent job this season. You know, getting to 4-0, 2-0 in the SEC, so you have to tip your cap to them. But you know, very disappointed in our performance tonight. And you know, the first thumb comes at me. You know, ultimately I'm responsible for the product we put on the field. Talked all week about the things that were going to be necessary for us to win this game, and that was toughness. Second word was composure. Third was effort, and the fourth was precision. And I thought we, you know, we played hard. I thought we played physical. Obviously, by the number of penalties, 16, and the number of pre-possession and post-possession, you know, those aren't the type of things that you can do and win games. Thought we did play hard, and certainly in all three phases didn't execute with the precision that we need to do to beat a team of Kentucky's caliber. So, any questions?
The offensive line kind of didn't live up to the standard that it played to in the first three games. How much of that was Kentucky, and how much of that was y'all?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of both. You know, they do a real good job with their scheme. Obviously, 41's an excellent player. You know, the nose and both tackles are you know, big space eaters, and you know, allow the linebackers to move around. So, you know, we got to give ourselves a chance by staying on schedule and not get behind the sticks. And I think you saw a lot of that today with you know, false start penalties and you know things that didn't put us in very manageable third down conversion distances. So I'd say it was a combination of both.
You mentioned the penalties. What do you attribute the excess personal foul penalties to?
No, it was a lack of composure, and you know, certainly we you know, corrected it from week 2 after the 11. You know, we're on the right path last week, but you know, in an emotional game, we talked in the preseason about showing our emotions without being emotional, and we didn't do that today. And once again, that's on me. That's my responsibility. We'll get it fixed.
Joe, during the week, did you sense anything like this coming?
Yeah, during the week, not necessarily. I thought we had a real good week of practice. I thought we put a good plan together. You know, but once again, you got to give credit where it's due. You know, they're doing a great job in all three phases. They got a good quarterback. You know, Snell's a good physical runner, and you know, they're playing good defense. So certainly didn't see it coming, but you know, the way we played, and, you know, in some ways you know, it's hard to avoid when we play the way we did.
2 yards per carry for the entire team's average. Kind of going back to what Brett said, is that an offensive line thing, or were guys just not seeing the running lanes? Or?
No, I think you know, probably a little bit of both. You know, we got to be able to displace people off the line of scrimmage horizontally and vertically. You know, they did a good job with some of their scheme stuff. You know, forcing our linemen to come off of double teams. Did a good job with secondary support. So I'd say it's, you know, credit to them for, you know, playing good defense, and obviously we got to do a little bit better job blocking and running.
Leading into the week, we kind of talked a lot about how important it would have been to get off to a hot start. Say you guys do get off to a hot start, how differently do you think the rest of the game could have played out?
Hopefully, you know, it would have turned out very different. But our, you know, first, you know, we get a stop on defense. You know, we get the ball back, have a positive first down play, and you know, then we get a post possession, you know, personal foul that puts us in second and extra long. We get a good completion. You know, but the third down becomes you know, a longer distance to get, and you know, those things kind of trickle throughout the game. So, yeah.
The score Kentucky got right before the half, how much did that shift the momentum of the game that you saw?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but we had a lot of opportunities offensively. You know, Brian Cole had a great interception, put us in field position. You know, we were down in the red zone there with an opportunity to score, and then had another penalty and a couple sacks that drove us out of field goal range. Ultimately, we had the punt there, and you know, a couple pass interferences on us. You know, just some very ill-timed miscues.
And after that, the first play of the next possession, completion to Osiris, didn't use a timeout. Did you think about using a timeout there?
Which one was that?
The last possession of the first half, completion to Osiris on the far side for y'all, yeah. And y'all went straight into another play. Did you think about using a timeout?
We were trying to get a quick one run there and then use a timeout if we got another play, but we let a little bit too much time run down there.
Was Benny Snell a different person today from what you saw on film from this game last year?
I'd say no to the extent that he's, I mean, an all-SEC player. I mean, very good patience, good vision, good physicality. You know, runs behind a good offensive line. So, you know, he backed it up this week.
Tucker Day had a couple of short punts tonight. You made a switch to Cody at one point. What did you see from the punt game overall?
The operation was good, the protection was good, didn't have much pressure, didn't get any block, but, looking for a little bit more distance, made a change, and Tucker came in and hit his furthest one. So, we'll continue that competition and put the guy on the field to give us the best chance to win.
Even with the way the game was going, I think it was at 14-7, you guys had a couple opportunities to go down and tie the game. What was the kind of the vibe, the feeling on the sideline when you guys had those opportunities?
Yeah, I think the vibe was positive, up until, it hit 21-7 and then 28-7. And, certainly for us to operate at our, best offensively, we got to be able to run the ball successfully. And, we weren't necessarily able to do that. And, struggled a little bit with pass protection. Had some drops, had some misfires. It's just a combination of things that leads to an outcome that we saw today.
Did Kentucky show some things defensively tonight that y'all hadn't seen before?
Not a couple new wrinkles, but not a ton of stuff.
How much is there concern for the offensive line going forward?
Concern? Obviously we got to stay on sides. That'd be the first thing. In a road environment that's very loud, and we had crowd noise the entire week. I mean, we worked crowd noise the entire week. I'd say our edge pass protection right now is probably the thing that needs to be addressed the most.
Kind of going off of that and the penalties, obviously you know what your offensive line can do. They can move guys when they want to, but when they start getting penalties like they did, do you think that sort of lowers their confidence to a degree?
I think they were trying to get the jump because you had a couple good pass rushers, and we did some things with sliding the protection 241, and trying to make sure that if he beat us, it was around the edge, and we did some things with chipping with the back. They were bringing some blitzes from different angles and doing a good job singling him up in pass rush. So once again, they did a pretty good job.
How do you address all the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that you've seen?
We got to do a better job with our composure and our discipline, and obviously we didn't do it. I didn't do good enough job emphasizing it, and coming tomorrow we'll get better off.
Running backs only had 5 carries at the end of the first half. What were you trying to establish offensively in that first half?
Trying to establish, trying to score points. And I think we saw a lot of situations where we ended up, behind the sticks and needing to throw the ball a little bit. And some of them were, reads where it was either a handoff or a throw, and they were playing very aggressive to the box. Some of them there were run calls that ended up getting thrown because of the.
How would you assess
more run calls made than were actually handed off?
How would you assess Nick's performance tonight?
I mean, he's 50%. Had some good balls that were dropped. Had some open guys that he missed. Had some pretty quiet feet in the pocket. But from a run game and pass game perspective, we're going to need him to continue to improve throughout the season.
Was there sort of an emotional aspect of this game, not only with this being on the road, but also Florida next week? Was there kind of a complex emotional aspect of
we
the
haven't
game?
talked about Florida at all, so that didn't play good at all. I don't think if we were looking ahead, we were not looking ahead.
What did you say to the team in the locker room after the game?
Kind of what I just talked to you guys about, the things that we emphasized throughout the week that were really necessary for us to win. And the two that I think we lacked, were the composure piece and the precision piece. Those are two things that ended up getting us beat.
One last emotions question. Was the Fitzgerald interception sort of the wind out of the sails moment, or was there still a good feeling on the sideline that you guys potentially come back after that?
Yeah, like I said, up to the point where it was, 21-7, and Snell hit the crease the big run there at the end. We had our multiple opportunities at 14-7 to put points on the board, and for this offense to get held to 7, we just gotta win many games, scoring 7 points against any opponent. So that's certainly something we gotta make sure we get fixed.